let me start with your thoughts on New Year's Eve. Did that get the 36ers further away from winning that championship this season?
It didn't help, mate. That's for sure. I watched it with a couple of mates, Brett Maher and Rupert Sapper included, and I don't think I've ever been mad at a game that I haven't been directly involved with myself than that, and to watch that unfold, we were screaming at the TV, and look, that can do a lot of damage to you. They need to bounce back, and they need to bounce back really, really quickly. It's difficult because you need to address the loss and the reasons for why it happened, but the next breath you just need to move on and be able to somehow put it behind you. So it's a tricky one. I mean, they're really starting to set up the rest of the season, and once again, there's no reason why they can't continue to do that. But that one hurt, mate. That was that wounded deeply. I was really disappointed, as obviously the group would have been as well. But that's one that got away that you can't get back, unfortunately.
What stood out to you in those last 5 minutes? I mean, to me, it was two things: the full court pressure that Taipans decided to go with. The 36ers just couldn't get past it. They couldn't get the ball up the floor, and when they did get up the floor, everyone that touched the ball looked almost scared to actually look at the basket. It was like they were trying to save the game, scared to actually put a shot up and trying to save the game, not trying to win it. The only guy that actually looked like they had a cool head was Ian Clark when he came on in that last minute. I mean, what were the things that stood out to you?
Oh, look, I don't think there's any question they were playing not to lose, and I guess that was the frustrating thing, is all they had to do was score a couple of baskets in succession and the game would have been over. They would have put it to rest, and I think that was the most frustrating thing for me. But yeah, everyone looked, really, really tentative, and their pressure, well, it's good, wasn't it? Earth-shattering. Yeah. It was. It shouldn't be that much that you can go on that sort of run against you. I would have liked to see. I know Ian Clark sort of still getting involved in the team. I would have liked to see him get the ball, get the ball in his hands a bit earlier on, and sort of settle us down. But it's not like the guys that were left on the court would chop liver. I mean, you're talking about some really high quality guys, but it was just one of those ones where it's almost like no matter what you do, it's just watching a train wreck unfold, and really disappointed. To lose in that fashion, no question about it.
I mean, a massive difference in the context of the season too. I mean, 5 straight wins at that point would have been massive, but I mean, you look at the record, the difference between 10-9 and 11-8 right now is suddenly they're out of the top 6, when at 11-8 you're knocking on the top 4. It could have massive sort of ramifications in that playoff race too.
Yeah, it could, and that's what I said. You have to deal with the situation and address the reasons why it happened, but you just cannot afford to dwell on it. We've got 2 home games coming up that can put us right back in the mix again, and it's just that sort of season that you just have to take your opportunities when they present themselves. And like you said, we should be talking about 5 straight wins. Now we're talking about that loss instead of the 4 straight wins we had before it, which was terrific to be able to put ourselves in that situation. But once again, any time after a loss to get an opportunity to play again quickly, which we'll have this weekend on Friday and Sunday. Hopefully we can bounce back from that, and hopefully in a few weeks we're talking about that loss was the thing that galvanised the team, and really that could be the turning point in the whole season. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. That's for sure.
No, absolutely. How did it go in terms of spoiling your celebrations with Marzi and Rupert? Were you able to shake it off and still have a good New Year's Eve?
Oh no, I was just shitty as hell, mate. I was moping around the house and yelling and cursing, and look, I needed a little moment. I took myself off for about 15 minutes and swore and carried on, and then I was back into it. And we had a couple of nice reds to bring in the new year, so that sort of helped me get over the line.
Excellent. All right, so we're here to select our winner of the Galen Award, the best NBL team man for this weekend, Scott, thanks to our friends at Sports Card World. And a little bit difficult probably to find too many candidates, but Xavier Cooks, once again, who won our award last week, was outstanding in that win for the Sydney Kings against the Jack Jumpers. He's just unstoppable at the moment. But the other man that stood out for me was Shannon Scott. Unfortunately, he was the man that delivered those dagger blows late, along with DJ Hogue on New Year's Eve, but also against the Illawarra Hawks. He had a really good game. I mean, just the cool head he provides for the Taipans right now is terrific. And now that he's finding that scoring punch as well, 49 points across the 2 games, but he's also their point guard. He rebounds, he defends, he does a bit of everything. He might be hard to go past for this week.
Yeah, certainly. It's Shannon Scott for me. I mean, that's the poise he showed, and he's really found his niche in that team, hasn't he? And in the league itself. And I thought he was terrific. You talk about having a cool head on your shoulders, the ability to make the big shot and the big play was just, I really like what sort of Cairns are, have put together there with Hogue. He's a ripper. You've got a bunch of guys who play hard for each other, and their coach and play well. And I think that's any time you start talking about a situation like that, then you're definitely on the right track moving forward. So I like what they're doing. I've probably been one to think that they were going to be the team that sort of slipped by the wayside, but I'm not so sure now. I think they've, there's good chemistry there, and once again, as much as a disappointing loss that was for the Sixers, that can be a real galvanising win for the Taipans as well. So, I like what they're doing, and I think they're going to be tough.
Yeah, no, they absolutely are. What are your thoughts on Adam Forde, the way he goes about life as a coach? Clearly his players love playing for him, and clearly he's incredibly supportive of his players, and I think that shows through in everything he does, but he's also not afraid to call out opposition teams if he thinks that they're targeting his players. He's not afraid to trash talk the opposition from the sidelines as well. Do you like the way Forde goes about it?
Oh, there's aspects I do, there's aspects I don't. I think when you start talking shit to opposition players, you're on a bit of a slippery slope, and I just don't think that's necessary now. There's a competitive nature to it, and I sort of understand that. But what he said against United, I thought was way out of line, and just you look at the incident. They might have been trying to be physical with Pinder leading up to that. Well, of course they would have been. Any team in the competition should be trying to do that. He's one of the best players in the league. But to say that he's trying to deliberately hurt them. I mean, he went up for a dunk and landed on Petling's foot. I mean, you only have to watch that to see that there was no malice involved in that particular incident. So that was disappointing. But I like his passion. I love his passion. I love the way that he's going about it. Like you said, his players play hard for him, and that you get that box ticked, or you're a long way in front right from the start. So I'd love what he's doing, what he's been able to put together up there.
I want to get your thoughts quickly on Chase Buford. I think it might have been off air that we were talking about him last week and some of his antics courtside, and it turned out he ended up getting suspended for the way he acted against the Phoenix for that game in Gippsland. What do you take on it? Did the league take the right path in suspending him to try to, I guess, curtail some of the way he conducts himself?
Oh, I think they probably did. I'm just not sure why it took so long, to be honest with you. It's I just can't work out him. He's just, I'll be careful what I say, but like I think they did make the right move. It just should have been quicker, in my opinion.